Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and in this video we're going to talk about the email experience on Windows Phone 7 and compare it to Android and to the iPhone. Let's get started. Now, before continuing, it's important to mention that the Windows Phone 7 hardware and software you're about to see is not final. It is not a representation of what you're going to be able to get when devices start shipping in quarter 4. We're doing this for fun so you can get an idea of how the experience is today. So let's talk about email. On all three devices, I have my Microsoft Exchange account being synchronized so that all emails across all three devices are the same, and even the read and unread states are synchronized. Now, what's really important for email on a mobile device is triage. You want to be able to quickly and easily multi-select items, mark them as unread, delete a couple, action on a few, so that when you get back to your desktop or your main screen, you have pretty much eliminated all of the clutter and you get down to the things that you need a big screen for. Okay, so let's talk about how these three devices handle email triage. So on Android, depending on which Android device you're using, you get checkboxes on the left which conveniently allow you to check them and action on multiple emails. And we have three options: mark as unread, add star, or delete. I'm going to mark them as unread, and then I have to go back and actually uncheck them. Now on Windows Phone 7, it's very similar, and it works quite well. In fact, there's a twist that is, I think, better. What you can actually do is tap to the left of the message, and the checkboxes automatically come up. And from here, you can actually do more than just mark as read or unread or delete or add star. You can set flag, you can complete it, you can clear the flag, you can move it and delete it. So from here, I'm going to mark as unread, and they are marked as unread, although it's kind of hard to tell sometimes which messages are read, marked as read, and marked as unread in this version of Windows Phone 7. And over here on the iPhone, there's no way to multi-select to get the mark as unread to show up. So we can go to edit, and then we can multi-select, but we can only delete and move. That's it. If you want to go into an email and mark it as unread, you have to actually go into the email, select it, and come back out and do that for every email that you want to mark as unread. So Windows Phone 7 has a great way to manage multiple emails, as does Android. So let's talk about the display of email. In iPhone, you can choose to have an email preview if you'd like, and so we have the name of the sender plus the subject and the time, but you can also pull in the first two lines of the email. Windows Phone 7, you don't get a choice, but by default, the way it comes out of the box is you get the name of the sender, the subject, and the first sentence and the time, which is good enough. And over here in Android, depending on the Android device you're using, it's much like the iPhone, how I have it displayed over here with the sender, the subject, the time, and you can also star or unstar certain items. Now in Windows Phone 7, there are multiple views for your messages. You can swipe to the right to get only your unread messages, swipe to the right again for flagged, urgent, and back to all. Can't do that on iPhone or Android, so a really great way to organize your email. Now let's talk about how emails actually display. HTML email. So here we have a CompUSA newsletter. Yes, CompUSA still exists, sort of. And we can pull it up on both devices. It displays very nicely in the iPhone, very nicely here on Android, although it's not as scaled back. We can perhaps move that around, side scroll. On Windows Phone 7, for some reason, this build does not support HTML email, which is a big problem because there's a lot of email that I think most people get that is HTML these days. So no HTML email support in this version of Windows Phone 7. That is not to say that when it ships, it will be missing as well. So let's go back here, back, and back. Now let's talk about creating a new email message, which is obviously another important component of an email program on a mobile device. So down here for iPhone, we tap on the new message button. Here we press the plus, and over here we go into compose. Okay, very similar workflows on all those devices. I'm going to type my name, and we're going to see how fast it looks into the contact database to pull up my name, if I can spell my name right. Okay, very fast on the iPhone. Very fast on Windows Phone 7, and I expect that here on Android 2.2, it'll be just as fast, and it is. Now from here, we can do a few different things on all of these devices. On the iPhone, you really have only two choices. You can cancel, and it'll allow you to save it as a draft or delete the draft, or you can send it. Two options. Windows Phone 7, you have a lot more options. If I tap here to open the application tray, I can change the priority, add add a blind carbon copy or carbon copy receiver, or I can actually attach a picture, which is quite nice. I don't see any way to attach a file, which would be great. On the iPhone, of course, if you want to email a picture, you have to start in the photo gallery and then go into the email application. So let's say I want to email this picture here. It's attached, boom, instantly. And in Android, you can also attach a picture. So you click Add Attachment, you go into the gallery. You can actually go into the file browser in that case. And I don't have any pictures here to attach. So also here in Windows Phone 7, if you press the close button, it asks you, do you want to save it as a draft, cancel, or save the message? And here in Android, if you want to save it as a draft, you click this button here, you click Save as Draft, it's an extra step, and then it goes into your Drafts folder. So let's go back to the inbox views of all of these different email applications. Now, something that is kind of a drag is that in this version of Windows Phone 7, there's no way to view a unified inbox, which I think a lot of people will be disappointed about. But once again, this is beta software. It's possible that when Windows Phone 7 comes out, they will have the unified inbox feature. Android 2.2 and iPhone 4 or OS 4 do unified inbox quite well by now. So obviously, email is a critical function of any smartphone, and so far, Windows Phone 7 seems to be on the right track. It allows you to triage email very efficiently by allowing you to multi-select and act on many emails at a time with a lot of different methods. It allows you to quickly filter out between unread messages so you're not wasting time digging through your list of read and unread trying to find your unread. And it also is fast. It has this Fluid Metro interface that is a refreshing deviation of what you get from some of the heavier email clients. And yes, it does work in landscape, although strangely, when you tap the tray over here, it takes up so much of the screen. There are some weaknesses like lack of unified inbox and lack of HTML support, but again, this is not final software. We have to reserve judgment until we see a shipping device of Windows Phone 7 this fall. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more smartphone videos. Thanks for watching, and that's it for now.